Hey, Todd Burrier from toddburrier.com. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to be incredibly effective with all different kinds of people. I mean, that's the world that you're in. In any business scenario, or heck, in any community, you're going to have every kind of personality type. I mean, that's the way the world works, right? Not everybody is alike. And most of the personality profile companies will break people down into 16 different types, right? They start with 4 platform types, like the Myers-Briggs or the DISC or all the other different variations of those things, right? There's all kinds of, let's call them variations, but they're all the same, right? They're all the same. And you and I, for the most part, are we going to invest like several years of our life to become masters of how to actually cater specifically to an individual type of personality? Probably not, right? Most people in business don't have the time to do that or the training to do that. So having awareness that there are different personality types, that's what matters most. But the cool thing about it is that if you know the basics, the fundamentals, and how to work with people, you don't need to be a master of personality types, right? Because you're going to do well with every kind. And so all you need to know is that there are a whole bunch of them, right? There are a whole bunch of different kinds of personalities that you need to navigate to be successful with people in life. And if you want to be successful in business, you're going to have to be successful with people, right? It doesn't matter if you're in a nonprofit scenario, in a church setting, or in a business, it's all the same. It's people, always people, right? So there's lots of different things that come to bear in a communication scenario with another person. And so I'm going to give you a very, very simple formula. And this is in my book, 3 Circles Living, because relationships are one of the major circles. And there are 4 layers of relationships that have a major impact on how you make your way in life. The most important ones are the closest ones, even though they tend to get the least attention until they have to, unless you follow what I teach in the book, which I encourage you to get the book because it'll help you in so many ways. It's helped so many people, and I've lived that way, and I know the fruits. But you think about, you have your close relationships, and then you have your friendships, and then you have your community, and then you have your business, right? And so if you get it right going out, the best place to practice is home, because that's the easiest place to take for granted. It's easiest not to listen at home. It's easiest to disregard or not really mind how your tone is, or, you know what I mean? It's really easy to do that because we take those relationships for granted because they're always there, right? They're always there, which is why it's the best place to practice. So anyway, you've got multiple things going on in a personality. I mean, in a conversation, you've got the communication gap that naturally occurs because each person has a different lens, which is based on their life experiences and the way they feel right now and their current quality of life issues and their history with each other and all this other stuff that comes to bear that affects how people are seeing what's going on in the moment. You have the image that people are portraying. You have their personality type, which I mentioned already. You've got their motivation in the conversation. You've got the assumptions you naturally make. All of these things have a significant influence on what happens in any interaction with another human being. To make this easy, right? You don't have to be a wizard. It's great to learn stuff. But, what I've seen in the years, and I've taught personality profile stuff in the past to groups, is that, that's a double edge, right? Once you give people some training in that area, then they're like, oh, that person's a blah, 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 right? They're labeling people. You can't label people, right? You can't manipulate people, right? I mean, you can, but you shouldn't, right? You want to have honest, authentic, transparent, true, honest, integrity in communication with people. And so very, very simple. First of all, understand that every interaction, as much as you want out of an interaction, it's not about you. It's got to be about the other person. Right? If you want to have really effective interactions with other people, you need to make it about the other person. And so that means that listening is the first thing that you need to do. Not listen just to find a place to jump in. This is where everybody makes a mistake, is as soon as they're, in business, as soon as someone gives them the slightest crack, they dive right through the crack and say, let me tell you about what I got for you, right? Wrong. Absolutely wrong, right? You have to understand the pathway for human interaction to accept input, to accept advice is trust, feeling understood, then your input. Until you've done that first part, nobody cares what you have to offer, because then it's just all about you. And so listening is your first thing. And then, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how much you want to jump in, regardless of how much you want to talk, You got to listen and then ask the next question. So important, right? Primarily because you need to be clear about what you're listening to. And you're not going to know. You're going to think you are, but that's the communication gap in play. And so you ask a clarifying question, primarily an open-ended clarifier, like, what do you mean when you say, or what did you mean by that, or right, something of that nature, which allows a person to go a little further and help you get true understanding, which allows you to then ask either a new question in that line of questioning or change the subject if you choose. It's so simple, right? So it's a 3-step process. It starts with focusing on the other person, listening intently, right? Not checking your phone, not looking around, not doing other things that send signals that say you really could give a darn, right? So you listen to that person intently, and then you ask a clarifying question, and then you paraphrase. If you do those 3 steps, it would change the game, right? Change the game. But just remember, keep this in mind. It's not about you. If you want to be effective with people, it's got to be about them, always. So I hope that this little tip was helpful for you. I know it will be helpful if you use it, right? It'll be helpful everywhere in your life. And I encourage you to get the book, 3 Circles Living, Achieving Your Richest Life Possible. It will help you tremendously to have a platform of fundamentals, to know exactly what to do in the right order in your life to have abundance everywhere. Take care. Talk to you soon.